They fumbled, laughed, and hesitated, uncertain of how champions are supposed to act. The moment they had imagined for years was finally here, yet it felt almost surreal. Chet Holmgren's wiry frame leaned over the table, reaching awkwardly for a bottle of Moet. Jalen Williams peeled the foil with the curiosity of someone opening a present for the first time. Rookie Dylan Jones shook his bottle like a nervous partygoer, unsure if the moment called for chaos or calm. The Oklahoma City Thunder weren't just celebrating, they were learning how to celebrate. In a locker room drenched in victory and alcohol, they looked like overgrown teenagers at prom who had somehow wandered into a royal gala. Beers lined the tables, unopened champagne bottles glistened on ice, and somewhere in the chaos, they sought out 31-year-old Alex Caruso, the veteran sage, the only one who had been here before. "I think we messed up the toast 3 times. Caruso chuckled to the Oklahoman after OKC's 103-91 Game 7 triumph over the Indiana Pacers sealed their first ever NBA championship. "A couple guys popped early. Nobody knew what to do." Jalen Williams cringed after a sip of Michelob Ultra. Jalen Williams, who'd never had a drink before, toasted his first on the biggest night of his life. If their youth had been a question all year, here it was now, on full, clumsy display, celebrated not hidden. The second youngest NBA champion ever looked exactly like what they were, kids who had just conquered a grown man's league. All season long, the whispers surrounded them. Critics questioned their age, their inexperience, their TikToks, and their collective baby faces. How could a team so green possibly survive the meat grinder that is the NBA playoffs? For every highlight, every 40-point win, there were skeptics ready to remind them that greatness is usually earned through scars. But they didn't flinch. They won 68 games while ignoring the noise, tuning out analysts and doubters. They weren't supposed to be ready. They didn't care. OKC's path to the top wasn't smooth. It was forged through fire. A 29-point comeback against Memphis. A gritty, down-to-the-wire series win against the reigning champion Nuggets. A demolition of the Timberwolves that included a 42-point loss just for dramatic flair. Each challenge demanded the Thunder grow up faster than anyone expected, and they did. By Game 7 of the NBA Finals, they weren't boys anymore. Indiana, tough and relentless, gave them their final test. Even when Tyrese Halliburton tragically exited the game in the first quarter, later revealed to be a torn Achilles, the Pacers didn't lie down. They clawed out a halftime lead, fought for every loose ball, and buried timely threes. Oklahoma City's offense sputtered. The stage looked big. The moment loomed large. And then came the third quarter. The season condensed into 12 minutes. 5 steals, relentless defense. Twice as many threes as Indiana. Points off turnovers in waves. The Thunder didn't just respond. They roared. They didn't just flip a switch. They lit the whole building on fire. Technically, the 1977 Portland Trail Blazers were younger, but that was a different league. A different era. An era where Maurice Lucas's aged face and Lionel Hollins's afro made even rookies look 35. In the modern NBA, a league that demands you lose before you win, bleed before you shine, this Thunder squad is an anomaly. Their rise is nothing short of revolutionary. At the center of it all, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. At 26, he wrapped up one of the most complete seasons in recent memory. And in Game 7, he was clinical, unbothered, brilliant. He poured in 29 points, dished 12 assists, and controlled the tempo like a maestro in his prime. He became a unanimous Finals MVP in just his second postseason run as the face of the franchise. Jalen Williams, 24, was equally crucial, an All-NBA co-star whose colorful sneakers and Kobe Bryant devotion spoke to his flair and mentality. He doesn't remember the 2016 Finals. He remembers this one. He cried when he saw his mother crying in the stands. He tugged at his jersey as if to hold himself together. And then there was Chet Holmgren, the unicorn who turned doubters into believers. His series was a wrestling match with Miles Turner. He missed threes, took bumps, but in Game 7, he shined on defense. 5 blocks, an NBA Finals Game 7 record. His presence changed everything. Long arms, soft hands, and a heart hardened by every challenge thrown his way. Their reactions after the final buzzer? Pure. Chet polished the Larry O'Brien like it was a trophy at a science fair. Jalen looked into the crowd and found his family. This wasn't just victory. It was validation.